Hi guys and welcome back to another Starcraft replay cast from the South Korean ladder from September 2025. I don't have the exact date, I believe it was around the 60th or 70th September 2025, as we do have spawning in the upper left part in the brown. It is Jaedong with his AK, with his barcode, versus quite a known Terran from South Korea, Rush, who is spawning here in the lower left as the blue Terran. So South Korea versus South Korea on a 4 spawning location map. Quite a shorter replay, as you can see here from the timer. It's going to be quite an interesting one, as we do have, of course, just like in the previous replays here onto this channel, the production tab is in the upper left part. Build orders will start very soon here for both players, as JD already scouting here the map, sadly into the wrong direction, and we do see Rush now opting to go for a wall of, I believe, here. So he's going to add a supply depot, followed by very likely a barracks into this location, another supply depot, in order to give protection towards his expansion point. Now the question is Jaedong going to be able to punish this? Is he going for a Zergling rush? Could it be Mutalisk? Of course, he's known for his Mutalisk micro. We saw this on the previous replay versus Devault. Quite outstanding gameplay. Mutalisk micro versus the High Templars versus the probe from Devault. In the end, a great game by both players. It is of course also available here onto this channel. Game has also been played in September 2025, as we do have a expansion here for JD. I believe a second overlord indeed has also been spawned by him. As if you look at the minimap, this image is quite interesting here, but of course the drone is going to change that. So quite a, perhaps intentionally, a scout here by Jaedong, trying to indicate us something here from JD. So yeah, there's the barracks for Rush, and yeah, there's the second SCV. You can still see on the minimap the image here. Perhaps Jaedong is trying to tell us something here about StarCraft, who knows. And yeah, the micro intense battle continues here in between SCV and drone, and it looks like JD might snipe indeed a SCV. So first blood here for JD. Nice micro. The drone is slowly but steadily going to regenerate the HP as the overlord is now going towards the middle of the map. Good scouting here by JD. He knows now, of course, where Rush is hiding. And yeah, more Marines are getting produced, and we actually see him pull SCV. So he's not going for a fast expansion. Looks like a rush here by Rush. And yeah, he's going for the barracks right into this location. Only 3 drones have been pulled here by JD. The same can be said versus the cannon rush from Devault. He also pulled only around 3 to 4 drones by him. I believe it looks like it's going to be enough, but now with all of those SCVs from Rush, looks like JD has to pull more, either that or wait for reinforcements for the Zerg. Now finally a good takeout here. The bunker, however, has been finished. Now Rush can of course surround the bunker, giving protection towards all of those Marines. In come the Zerglings, but the wall has pretty much been completed here. The SCVs are in the front. JD might try to ignore this and go straight towards the economy from the main. From Rush, there is the Sunken getting produced here for JD, as he has to sacrifice some of those Zerglings in order to give time for the Sunken to finish here. Good surround here by Rush. Quite an early harassment gameplay here. More Zerglings are being sacrificed here by JD, like I told you, in order to give time for the Sunken to finish. Now in come the Marines. They will immediately target the Sunken. Jaedong once again bringing his Zergling forward, but in the end I believe the Sunken is going to be killed now, and luckily here for Rush is not even taking so much damage towards those SCVs. So with that, all of a sudden Jaedong in a very critical situation here. Let's see what his Zergling can do here. He did snipe the Marine in the front. He might go now for the economy from the opponent. He's actually going for the production, and actually with that I believe Rush should be able to hold. So now Jaedong in a very difficult situation, but as you can see from the timer, it's a 15-minute mark. So is Jaedong somehow going to come back here? He has Zerglings on the high ground. First blood now has been taken by him with a drone, and Rush punishing of course that with a nice bunker rush, as Jaedong is now pretty much trapped into his main. He needs more Zerglings out, he needs more drones. He has actually the tier 2, there's the Spire, so even in a one base Zerg he could punish the Terran here. However, hard situation here for Jaedong indeed, as he's even producing now an overlord from the leftovers here from his expansion. Sadly for him, he is trapped The bunker is still pretty much alive. There's 4 Marines here, even the 5th one. And to play it safe, Rush even going for his expansion into this location. So what a great early harassment here by Rush. Showing actually how strong the Terran can be early on. You don't really have to turtle up with your Marines, with your cannons at home. So with your turrets at home, you can actually punish the Zerg expansions with some SCVs that have to be pulled, of course. Sadly for JD, he's at 12 drones versus the 25 already here for Rush. As there's the expansion also about to get finished very soon for him. Quite a strong harassment early on by Rush. I believe JD is very likely going to react surrounding this bunker. It's going to be very hard for him. He's going to once again take some casualties. And yeah, here we go. He's going straight for the surround. Speed has been done, I believe, for those Zerglings. Going straight for this one bunker. Interesting enough, Rush not microing those SCVs in and out of the bunker. But yeah, in the end, the Zerglings have taken the upper ground here as they're now moving forward towards the expansion point. But Rush looking very safe here with his wall off, with the bunker. Only the Mutalisk will be able to deal real damage towards the economy, and that's exactly what he's doing. Of course, the turrets will be delayed. Rush did sacrifice some SCVs with the harassment. One turret is finished. SCVs are being sniped. JD remaining at 12 workers versus the almost double amount of SCVs here from Rush. So Rush in a very good position, even adding some medics here. JD now going for his expansion point. Difficult situation here indeed for him, as only the good micro with those Mutalisk will very likely keep him into his game. Yeah, and with that, all of a sudden now Rush is being the one forced to go into a more defensive mode. He has 2 barracks, pumping out those Marines. Jaedong showing his presence, tries of course to deal damage, tries of course to force Rush to invest some minerals towards repairing, and of course forces here Rush to stay home. But yeah, of course Rush still in quite a economic advantage versus the opponent. Not that much gas here for him, but then again I believe he's going very heavily towards those Marines and medics. Let's have a look what Jaedong is doing. More Mutalisks are getting spawned. The hatchery is about to get finished for him, and yeah, he's just going to try to keep Rush at home. He's going to try to be lucky to snap some SCVs. Almost 30 SCVs now here for Rush, looking quite good for him. Let's look how many Mutalisks does he have. 8 Mutalisks here for Jaedong. So the number of Mutalisks is growing higher and higher, and with that, of course, Jaedong might be able to snap some units, some more units here from the opponent. There's however 4 turrets for the Terran here. The Terran might even rebuild the supply depot into a different location, as Jaedong tries of course his best. But the income the movies and Steam has also been done, so it's going to be even more harder here for Jaedong to keep himself into this game. 4 medics also out here for Rush, so Rush looking very good, being forced however to defend here at home. 1 Mutalisk has been snapped, 2 Marines might get snapped very soon. The medic has also been snapped, so Mutalisk of course sadly here for Jaedong, losing another Mutalisk. Very hard here of course to attack versus the stimmed Marines from the opponent, but he's still trying very hard. Interesting enough, just keeps on attacking the supply depot, of course, to just force stress towards his opponent, to force him to stay back. In comes the Zerglings, a good attempt here by Jaedong to move forward, but yeah, the wall off is nicely done here by Rush with his Marines. I believe weapons 1 is also going to be finished very soon, and you can see the production depth is pretty much in advantage here for the Terran, as once again in come the flyer attack by Jaedong. 2 SCVs of course onto this location, pretty much non-stop repairing the supply depot here, as Jaedong still tries of course to inflict more damage, almost snapping another Marine here. So this harassment is pretty much going to continue. I believe Jaedong of course tries to buy time. He's very likely going to try to go for either another expansion, currently with a very high Mutalisk count, 10, and reinforcements are pouring forward. So is he perhaps going to try to attack the production buildings? I believe he's going to just pretty much try to harass the opponent, just inflict more stress towards him. Just every unit counts a lot. So he's snapping Marine after Marine. Very smart gameplay here by Jaedong, of course. Once again showing us his Mutalisk micro. In the end, 1 Mutalisk has of course to be snapped. Those Marines have upgrades, they have medics. And now even Rush attempting to move here forward as another medic has been sniped. I believe with a great micro, JAEDONG might even be able to hold this game. He might even gain somehow the advantage. However, like I told you, 2 Mutalisks have been sniped. Reinforcements are moving forward. Flyer attack is about to get finished here for him. Damage 9 for those Mutalisks. Remember, they also have bouncing glaives. And now finally the fire attack has been finished here for the Mutalisk, as one Marine has also been taken off. Of course, the hurt Mutalisk might get microed back. JAEDONG just keeps on sniping, keeps on attacking, also losing Mutalisks for him. So that's really important for Rush. He's able to snap some Mutalisks. Yet another Mutalisk has been snapped. One medic has been lost. As it looks like indeed JAEDONG taking another expansion into the upper right part onto the map. Of course, the reason this just to force the Terran to move very far out onto the map. So intelligent gameplay here by JAEDONG, as the Marines are just nicely clumped up together with 4 medics ready to heal. Let's see how many barracks he has at home. 3 barracks, 1 factory. Might see indeed a pretty much full-on transition by Rush towards mech, towards tanks, towards vultures, and even of course some Goliaths. I believe he might even have a satellite in order to scan the area into the upper right part. As the harassment continues here, JAEDONG tries his best to keep the Terran at bay, but the production is pretty much overwhelmingly in towards the favor from the Terran. He's at almost 50 workers here. There's even a starport, so we might see some science vessels very soon here for Rush. Rush quite in a good position, as JAEDONG tries of course his best to stay into this game, to snipe unit after unit. If the harassment continues nicely, but then again one Mutalisk has also been lost here. He could of course snipe unit after unit and somehow come back into this game. I believe there was a game by him with an outstanding micro, somehow being able to just pretty much obliterate a whole group of Marines here and not losing Mutalisk, so also only using one Mutalisk, as it's very hard. Of course, 3 Marines versus 1 Mutalisk. Of course, the hurt Mutalisk in the back. Let's see how many does he have now. Still a strong amount of Mutalisk here for him. This one could be used, but yeah, JAEDONG of course very busy with his harassment, focusing onto his micro. Outstanding micro here by him. Rush just clumping up his units together. Reinforcements might be needed very soon, or perhaps he's just going for Valkyries. So there's the answer here for Rush. Of course, abusing his economic advantage, and actually we do see JAEDONG GGing out. So I believe he knew that a timing push would have came. There are the scans here from Rush. I believe the early harassment was way too strong, as just Rush pretty much celebrating his victory here. Of course, the next push would have been quite deadly for him. JAEDONG realizing as soon as he saw the first Valkyrie, second Valkyrie would have been out, even 2 more Valkyries, and yeah, Rush just celebrating here, perhaps enjoying now killing the Mutalisk from the opponent. Good game by him. Nice harassment with the bunker rush. Perhaps if you're a Terran watching this versus a Zerg, like I told you, you don't really have to stay at home and play defensively like other Terrans do. You can actually move out with some SCVs, of course. I believe 5 to 6 SCVs are being needed. You can watch, of course, again the replay. Bunker out, some Marines are out, and you can inflict good damage towards the opponent. The sniping of the Sunken was also very important here for Rush. JAEDONG tried his best to keep the Sunken alive. He did sacrifice lots and lots of Zerglings, but yet in the end, losing the Sunken, I believe with that he did pretty much lose the game. He tried to come back. He was really outstanding with his micro, with his Mutalisk micro. But yeah, of course, as soon as you saw the Valkyrie in the air, you knew that a second Valkyrie, even a third one, would have been on the way. The economic advantage was pretty much the double amount of here for Rush. You can even see, let's just check the resources. Gas, actually more gas here for the Zerg, for JD, but look at that, you can almost have the double amount of minerals. So that's of course just Marines there. Some gas for the Valkyrie. So in the end, Rush, quite a nice sneaky move by him, being able to take this game quite convincingly, quite strong, with a very patient gameplay. JAEDONG tried his best with the Mutalisk in the air, but in the end JAEDONG taking the game in a quite convincing way, and a nice abusive gameplay here by him early on, proving to be very strong versus JD. So yeah, I'm going to try to be as active as possible. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's Tommy signing out.